Alright, welcome back to the shop, everyone. It's been a few days. I got the new parts in. It's in a aluminum ring gear, and I got the pinion gear for the starter and all the mounting hardware. So we're going to go ahead and take this plastic ring gear off, and I've already got one of the bolts out. Easiest way to do it is with a chisel, and you could just get a nice sharp chisel, just keep tapping on it, put it up against something like that, and it cuts the head off just like that. Then take a 3/16 punch, and the directions say to drill them out, but you don't need to drill them out. Just set it over where it's not going to go into your bench. Line that up, give her a whack. Just like that. Or you can use a air chisel if you're kind of a power tool kind of guy, and just bump it up and just like that. Same thing. There's 4 of these rivets to get out. Right at the edge of the bench seems to work just fine. Got to get it. Takes a little bit to get it started. Once it drops down, you can like that. So that's all there is to taking that off. And it just lifts off. There's the old one. Now we'll kind of clean up the magnets here. Got all kinds of crud and stuff from years of being in there, so we'll just go ahead and blow this off. So let me find my nozzle. Probably should have done this up front. We'll get this cleaned off a little bit of rust that's on there with this wire wheel. Our mating surface is good. Now these rivet holes are kind of offset, so there's only one way this will go on, and this is offset too, you know. But on the gear here, you see these, it's kind of beveled on this side and this side's just sharp. You want this side to be out. Or if you put this, goes on like that, it would go down. So you line up the holes. Like that. Looks good. Takes these screws that come with it. Make sure they all go in. And they got a nylock nut. Goes on the back. These work really good. I did a video once before, back in 2014, I think it was. And that mower's still going strong with this ring gear on it. So they're pretty good ring gears. Okay, got that on. What you taking? Run them down. There are 3/8. We'll just hold them on here with a screwdriver. Tighten them down good and snug. Might lean it over like that. Get a little pressure on it. Just kind of bottom them all out here first, and then we'll go back and tighten them down a little bit. Doesn't give a torque spec, just says to tighten them good. Alright, now we'll go ahead and snug them down. And keep holding the wrench. And those look like some kind of maybe brass screw or maybe some kind of plated screw. So I'm just kind of bottoming them out and giving them a little bit more. I'm not really you know, gonna torque them down very tight. That screw doesn't look like it take very much. Kind of awkward here. Probably be better if I had it chucked up in the vise. Okay, that's it. It's changed. So I'll go get the starter. I think I'll take it off the machine and bring it in here where it's got a little better light to show you what I'm doing on it. So I'll come back as soon as I get that off the machine. Alright, let's get the starter off of this. I've got the negative on the battery taken off, so we don't have to worry about shocking ourselves. I'm going to take the power wire off. It's 7/16. That just comes off like that. Then there's 2 bolts up right on top here. They're 1/2 inch. Where there's a giant Torx on there, maybe a Torx 34. It's just easy to do with a 1/2 inch wrench. You can change this gear on here while it's on the machine, but it's a lot of bending over for me, and I just don't like to bend over anymore. So that's it, just that 2 bolts and the power wire. Starter's off. All right, let's go into the other shop and we'll change this gear out. There's a couple of bad spots in the teeth there, so. We'll go over to the other shop. Alright, I got the starter chucked up in the vise, and we need to take this little clip off right here. This is what the clip looks like. Try to get it to focus there. It's just a circular wire, and sometimes those can be a pain in the butt to get off. So I think I'm going to try digging it out of here with a little screwdriver. If you can get one end kind of started, then it'll usually come out pretty good. You got to kind of push down on this outer ring because it sets in a little groove, and then you can kind of pry out on it. There, I've got one end up now, and I'll just keep working that around. Pop back in. Bigger screwdriver, that one right here. Now that I got it started, okay, it's just about out. You can kind of sticking it underneath and rolling it, and it's working up out of that slot. Last little end here. I'm going to grab that with a pair of pliers. Just twist it right up over the top. There we go. Didn't even shoot across the room. Okay, then we'll get that little disc off of there. And then there's a outer spring, a little spring washer, and the curve goes up. And then the drive gear just spins right off, like that. Now when you put this new drive gear on, come take a look at them. This is like the ring gear. One side has a bevel on the tooth and the other one's straight. And it'll go on wrong. It'll go on upside down. The first time you engage that, it'll break this little gear. And I saw in a lot of comments when I was looking this part up that there was quite a few that said that the first time they used it, the gear broke. And I think that's because they put it in upside down. So you want to have the bevel towards the flywheel, which is up. And it just spins on just like that. And then you just reverse it back. Spring washer, outer washer, cup. And then I've got the new clip right there. And you can usually find a socket that's the same size as that and tap it on. That might be a little too small. That one's just a little too big. Let's see what we got here. Maybe that 3/8 that we took off, that might be it. I think that is. Try tapping that down over there. Let's see here. Let's try that. That's a 5/16 box end wrench. There we go. Get it so it pops down inside that, in that cup. There's a little notch in the top. Make sure it's set in the groove of the, there we go, popped right in. Okay, that's it. Nice and free. Everything seems to be moving okay. Looks like I'm seated well in the notch. Okay, let's go put that baby back on.